ask you one question.
Yep.
You're a producer, and you are an engineer.
Yep.
So what's the difference between a producer and an engineer?
I'm gonna break down a couple of things, right? So, I mean, there's two terms for a producer, and these days a lot of cats get it real fucked up.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And the real definition of a producer is the cat that's really making the record, who's making the decisions about the direction of the record. You know, he's not necessarily the person that's doing the music.
Okay.
You know, he's instructing that, he's guiding that process.
Okay.
That's why you can't really discount people like Puff, who might not be a musician, but he's guiding that record.
Yeah.
You know, Puff will be in the studio and tell you, no, fuck that. This is not how I want it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want it this way.
Yeah.
And he's guiding that process. That's a real producer. The Quincy Jones-esque sense of the word. You know, and then there's the producers today where, you know, it's the cat that actually just makes the music, that makes the beat. There's a problem with that, though. I mean, you know, coming from where I come from and the experiences that I've had, you know, a producer, if you went to Teddy Riley and he produced a record for you, he wasn't just sending you the record. You know what I'm saying? You would go to Virginia to his studio and he would make the record with you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? In the, you know, in the true sense of the term producer. You know, these days it's like, yo, just send me the Pro Tools session and I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's cool. You know, but I strive to be, you know, a little bit more involved in projects. You know, I'd like to be. You know, and I don't have no major placements, and I'm working on that.
Oh,
you know, I'm working on that hard. You know, but that, I mean, that's, you know, that's where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? The fact that, you know, I'm actually an accredited, you know, engineer, you know, with credits, you know, kind of says, well, yo, you know what? Maybe he can do the entire thing.
You're right.
You know, and, you know, quiet as kept, what people don't understand about having that type of skill is that when you go to a label and you actually have the expertise to do a record front to end, you actually can retain more money.
More money, yeah. Of course.
You know, because what happens is, you know, if you're a producer, you know, and they pick up your record, they're going to pay you a front end and a back end. You know, we're going to pay you, I heard the demo of the record, I like it. You know, so if I'm going to pay you $10,000 of what we agreed, I'm going to give you $5,000. You're going to go get that record recorded. When you return the masters and clear the samples if there are any and get all of that stuff taken out, we're going to pay you your back end. You know, which is an advance against what the sales of the record is going to do, because as a producer on a record, you're going to get points off for every record you sell. You know, the thing is that fee is just the producer fee. You know, if you actually have some skills and you can actually make a record, and the label has, you know, belief that a faith in you that you can make a record and deliver it, you know, you can do what they call an all-in budget. And the all-in producer budget includes the recording time, the recording studio, tapes, any media, whatever, mixing, mastering, etc. And that's all included into the price. So that $10,000 for the fee may end up being $40,000 a record for the actual process.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The studio time, etc., etc., etc. And if you got those type of skills and you have your own shop, you know what I'm saying? You actually driving more business through for the same effort.
You're right.
Just about. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of cats don't get that. Being on the business side of that game kind of opens your eyes to that. You know?
Shit. Sure, definitely opened my eyes to it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, man.
So you said you've been here 2 years. It's a nice studio. I'm telling y'all, man. Damn, my man definitely doing his thing, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, just me too, man. I had my brother-in-law helped me bring up the 40+ panels of sheetrock. That shit is heavy as hell. That had to have been 2,000 pounds worth of sheetrock we brought up in here. You know, my wife helped paint it. She's, you know, completely supportive. You know, shout out to my wife, my family. You know, because, you know, fuck, I left my house at, you know, 1:45. You know, and my wife is looking at me like, all right, you pushing it, but all right, you know.
All right, so let me ask you this. You being a producer, it's you being musically inclined. But more on the producer standpoint, I'm saying is, who are the producers you look up to? Like, where'd you know, how'd you?
There's a lot of cats, man. I mean, the thing is about producers that a lot of the good ones have their own attributes, their own idiosyncrasies, things that make them them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, cats like Just Blaze, I mean, he does some of the hardest beats around. You know, but he could still do a Usher record. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I really like Just Blaze. I like the Neptunes. Those cats are real musical. You know, they got a real dope sound, and they know how to evolve their sound. You know what I'm saying? They hit you. You know, their sound has evolved over time. Yeah. You know, even Timbaland, even though he's not really doing that much hip hop these days, he evolved his sound. You know, so once you hit people with a few hit records and they used to your sound, you know, you got a couple of choices. You better figure out something new that you can hit them with, you know, and that'll keep you relevant, or you know, you might end up fading away.
Definitely,
you know,
reinvent yourself in this game.
You know, and then there's my all-time classics like, you know, Pete Rock, Premier, DJ Quick. Like, cats don't know on the low, DJ Quick is a bad motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's a bad motherfucker producing a record. You know, I mean, there's so many cats out there. You know, and there's a lot of new cats out there. You know, that are, you know, on, you gotta be on Pro Tools, or you gotta be on this Fruity Loops.
Look at another one too, Soulja Boy.
Yeah, Fruity, you know, Loops. his tracks are not whack.
Exactly.
I think cats kind of slept on him because he's not
the illest rapper.
He doesn't have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have to be.
He has some good beats, man.
He has good beats, but he's not a good rapper at all.
That's not what we talking about. We talking.
You know, as a producer though, as a producer though, I mean, he's making the right sound. And these days, all you really need is a good track and a good hook. And his hooks are flame. Yeah, his hooks are flame.
That's all you know is the hook.
I don't even be knowing the words. Yeah. I be mumbling, but damn if the shit don't be in my head. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I mean, shouts to anybody who can grow their niche market. Yeah. You know, that's really all it is. I mean, these days, you know, you got to think independently as much as you can, because there's not a lot of room at the major labels for you know, for picking up producers, artists, or whatever. Yeah. You know, you better be thinking about where your niche is. You know, how you can, you know, target your niche market. You know, like me, I didn't really have the funds to go and be in the city and build a studio in the city and compete with the city studios, and you know, and charge $50, $60 an hour there. You know, I didn't really want to be that far away from home. Man, I'm right here in the hood, in the cut.
I don't blame you, because I'm telling you,
you know,
anybody who's serious about their career, they come here, they see the studio, they ain't gonna be no problems.
And once they hear the sound quality. You know, and once they see that, you know, oh wow, this is not just somebody in here who pushes buttons. Exactly. Like when I even as an engineer, when I sit here and I'm recording records, I'm really in producer mode, because I don't want nobody walking out of here with a half-assed product. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're not the greatest performer, you know, I mean, a good engineer is gonna work to get the performance out of it. Yeah. You know, and that's why whenever I go, you know, to other studios, you know, there might be an engineer sitting in there. I mean, last night I was in the studio, you know, with some bad boy writers and whatnot, you know, and there was an engineer there before me. You know, my man, you know, really dope producer, Deputy from Brooklyn. Shouts to Dep. You know, he's like, man, yo, thank God, I think God brought you into my life, because he was absolutely sick of his engineer. Yeah. You know, he wants somebody that could be in there and run. He don't want to be, he don't want to have to be waiting and embarrassed. You know, when he has high caliber people in your studio.
Because they just gonna, oh, you know what, we're gonna spend the money somewhere else.
Exactly.
That's really it.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's really what I've been building. You know, building my credibility. Yeah. You know, that if I walk into a spot and I'm gonna manage the spot, and I'm gonna manage the situation properly, and cats are gonna walk out of there with a good feeling about their session.
Of course, everybody gonna be happy because you're not gonna put. You don't want to put out
Yeah.
nothing whack.
And then they gonna call. And then they gonna call you back.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So, do you have anybody like that?